The day is done now. Nothing more is needed from you. Right here in this moment, you are allowed to slow down. Breath by breath, thought by thought, everything can begin to soften. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a quiet place. The world behind you is dim and distant. Ahead, there is only stillness and a gentle, welcoming calm. You are safe here. You are held here. The air feels soft against your skin, neither warm nor cold, just perfectly comfortable. Each breath moves in and out at an easy pace, as if it has all the time in the world. Nothing is rushed, nothing is urgent. You are allowed to take your time. In front of you, a soft golden glow begins to appear. It is the glow of candlelight, steady and warm, resting like a quiet promise in the distance. The light does not dazzle or strain your eyes. It simply waits, calm and patient, as if it has been there for a very long time. As you breathe in, imagine the gentle scent of clean stone and faint beeswax. As you breathe out, feel a little bit of the day leave your body. Thoughts begin to loosen, muscles begin to release. A slow, peaceful heaviness starts to drift into your arms and legs. Beneath your feet, the ground is solid and dependable. Every part of it feels stable and sure. You know that each step you take will be supported. You know that you cannot hurry in this place, even if you tried. Everything here is made for slowness. The golden light ahead grows just a little closer, as if it is inviting you inward. It does not pull, it does not push. It simply offers a path into quiet, one gentle breath at a time. You notice how your shoulders feel right now. Maybe they have been tight, carried high all day. Now they can soften and drift downward, as if someone has lifted a small weight away. Your jaw can loosen, your hands can uncurl. You do not have to hold anything together right now. There is a sense that you are approaching a sanctuary, a place where time does not rush past. Here, minutes do not matter. Here, you do not need to remember or plan anything. You are being welcomed into a space where you can simply be exactly as you are. The candlelight ahead begins to trace a path. You can almost see the soft line of it, like a strand of warmth leading into the heart of quiet. Each candle gives off a small, steady flame. Each flame adds to a gentle river of light that guides your eyes and calms your mind. As you notice the light, your breath falls into a natural rhythm, in and out, at a pace that feels unforced and comfortable. With every exhale, your chest feels lighter. With every inhale, your body feels more supported, as if the air itself is holding you. Around you, the space is hushed. Sounds, if there are any, arrive softly and fade even more softly. There are no sharp edges here, nothing sudden, nothing loud. It is as if the entire place has agreed to whisper. You may sense stone walls around you now, ancient and smooth. They feel steady, like they have been here for countless years, patiently watching the flow of time. Their presence brings a quiet reassurance. Whatever storms may move through the world outside, this place remains calm. This place remains unchanged. You are not required to do anything with that thought. You can simply rest in it, the way you might rest in a comfortable chair. Knowing that something is strong and peaceful around you can help the body finally relax. It can help the mind begin to loosen its grip. Another slow breath moves all the way down into your belly. You might notice the slight rise and fall there. That gentle motion is enough. It marks the simple truth that you are here, breathing, safe, and allowed to rest. The path of candlelight invites you to imagine the first few steps inside this temple of quiet. They are not big steps. They are not forced. Each one is more like a soft exhale, a small release into deeper comfort. You can sense the air growing a little stiller as you draw closer. The light brushes across the floor in soft, golden pools. Shadows are not dark or heavy here. They are just soft shapes, resting beside the light, completing it. Somewhere deep inside, a part of you begins to trust this slowness. The need to rush starts to fade. You are allowed to move at the pace of your own breathing. You are allowed to rest between every step. If any thoughts from the day appear, you can picture them as distant echoes. They may rise for a moment, then drift away again down a long, gentle corridor. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to fix or solve anything right now. They can simply come and go like small ripples on a quiet surface. Here, you are invited to feel supported. Supported by the ground, by the walls, by the soft glow of the candles. Supported by the stillness that surrounds you. You do not have to hold yourself upright with effort. You can lean into the safety of this place, even if only in your imagination. The sense of sanctuary grows fuller with each breath. It feels like a soft cloak being wrapped around your shoulders. It feels like a quiet hand resting gently over your heart, steady and calm. You are not alone here. You are softly accompanied by the peace of this temple. As you stand at the beginning of this candlelit path, notice how your body feels now compared to when you first arrived. Maybe the breath is slower, maybe the muscles feel heavier, maybe the mind is just a little quieter. Whatever is here is completely welcome. There is nothing to prove here, nothing to earn, nothing to perform. This is a place where you can lay everything down piece by piece without needing to pick it up again. The path ahead is simple. Candles line the way, patient and unwavering. Their light will not rush you. Their light will not fade as you move forward. They will gently guide you, one small pool of warmth at a time, deeper into rest. For now, it is enough to pause at this threshold, to feel the steady ground beneath you, to feel the slow rise and fall of your breath, to sense the quiet strength of a timeless sanctuary opening around you. In this soft beginning, you are already held. You are already safe. You are already being gently led toward deeper calm. All you need to do is breathe and allow yourself to ease step by step into the candlelit quiet that waits ahead. The first steps into this place are small and quiet. Nothing rushes, nothing demands your attention all at once. Ahead, the path opens into a long outer walkway, lined with dim golden candlelight. Each flame rests inside a simple holder, casting a soft, steady glow against old stone walls. The light is gentle on the eyes, low and soothing, as if it understands that you are already tired. The stone beneath your feet feels cool and solid. It has a calm presence, like something that has watched many nights come and go. Every step lands with a quiet, comforting sound, soft, slow, and sure. The air in this walkway is mild and stable, not cold, not hot. Just a soft, even temperature that makes it easy for your body to relax. You might notice a faint hint of beeswax, a trace of ancient incense, a whisper of clean dust on stone. Somewhere in the distance, a soft echo responds to every small sound. It is never sharp. It is never startling. Each echo is gentle, like a voice humming far away, then fading into the walls. At first, the senses may still feel a little alert. The mind may still be scanning, checking, waiting. That is all right. In this space, alertness has time to slowly unwind. Notice how the candlelight touches the wall beside you. It creates smooth, rounded shapes of light that shimmer faintly with each tiny movement of air. Shadows blur into the glow, never harsh, never dark enough to feel heavy. Everything blends into soft edges and slow movements. The surface of the wall feels worn and smooth, as if many quiet hands have brushed along it over the years. There is comfort in that idea. This place has welcomed many steps before yours. It is practiced at holding people who need rest. Breath eases into a slower rhythm here, in and out, without effort. Each inhale gathers in a little of the calm from the air around you. Each exhale releases a bit more of the day's leftover tension. Listen for a moment to the sound of your own steps. A soft tap, a tiny echo that travels down the walkway and gently dissolves. The sound is so quiet that it almost feels like a lullaby. Curiosity begins to soften the edges of any remaining alertness. Not the sharp curiosity of excitement, but a mild, gentle wondering. What lies further along this path? How the light will look around the next curve? How the air will feel as you move deeper inside? The walkway stretches ahead in an easy line. Candles are placed at even intervals, so the path is never too bright and never too dim. Each small flame seems to breathe in time with you, slow, calm, unhurried. As your eyes rest on the flickering light, the mind follows. Thoughts begin to move more slowly. They pass through like soft clouds instead of fast, tight knots. There is nothing here that needs solving, nothing here that needs fixing. The old stone floor has its own texture. Maybe you sense smooth patches where many feet have passed. Maybe you sense faint ridges and lines, like the gentle grain of time itself. Feeling those details under your feet or in your imagination gives the body something simple and calming to pay attention to. The temperature of the air seems to match your breath now, cool enough to be refreshing, warm enough to feel safe. It wraps around you like a quiet cloak, making every movement feel slower, softer. A light breeze moves down the corridor from time to time. It touches the candles so delicately that the flames only tremble, never go out. When they waver, the light ripples gently across the walls, like soft reflections in a shallow pool. Watching that movement in your mind can feel like watching your own thoughts settle. Every few steps, the echoes respond again. They are not exact copies of the sound you make. They are softened versions, stretched and smoothed by distance. They return to you like a whisper saying, "All is quiet, all is well." Here and there, you might sense a faint scent rising from the stone. Perhaps the memory of rain that once cooled these walls. Perhaps the trace of old wood from the doors that opened deeper inside. All of it blends into a simple, grounding presence. The body begins to trust the rhythm of this place. Step, soft sound, gentle echo, steady light, over and over, in a pattern that never pushes, never pulls. Breathing settles a little more. In this walkway, there is nothing sharp to cling to. No sudden color, no loud noise, no urgent decision. Just one soft moment, followed by another and another. If any thoughts from the outside world drift through, they arrive like faint visitors at the far end of the hall. You might notice them, you might even nod to them, and then watch as they turn away and fade back into the distance, leaving you with the candles, the stone, and your own quiet breath. The mind feels lighter when it has simple things to notice. The pattern of light on the wall, the subtle change in temperature as you pass one alcove and move toward another, the way the echoes grow softer as your steps grow slower. You are hovering now at the edge of a dreamlike state, still aware enough to notice the details, soft enough inside to let each detail sink in without effort. There is no need to push toward sleep. Rest comes on its own when the body feels safe and the mind feels quiet. Another breath moves gently through the chest. The shoulders hang a little lower. The muscles in the back and neck loosen as if they have finally been told they can rest. Even the small muscles in the face start to let go, leaving a calm, neutral softness behind. This outer walkway is a kind of transition. It stands between the busy world and the deeper stillness farther within. Here, there is time to arrive, time to adjust, time to feel every part of yourself slowing down. The candles continue their gentle flicker. Their light seems to lean toward you, as if guiding you forward with kindness. With each step, the sense of being watched over by this place grows stronger. Not watched in a way that judges, but in a way that cares. Soon, the path will lead further inward. For now, it is enough to simply be here, in this long, quiet hall, feeling the stone under your feet, hearing the soft trail of your steps, watching the warm light touch the ancient walls. The longer you linger in this space, the more the outer world fades. The walkway becomes its own small universe of calm, just golden light, cool stone, and slow, easy breathing. In this calm stretch of time, the body learns again how to be still. The mind learns again how to rest. There is nowhere else you need to go in this moment, nothing else you need to do, only soft steps, only golden light, only the gentle echoes, carrying you deeper into quiet and deeper into ease. The corridor stretches ahead in a long, gentle line. The world has grown quieter here. Sound seems to rest on the walls and floor, as if even echoes have slowed down to breathe. Candles are placed in smooth rows along the stone. Their flames glow with a warm, amber light that drapes softly over everything it touches. Nothing feels harsh or bright. It is the kind of light that invites the eyes to soften and the mind to grow calm. The stone beneath your feet feels familiar now. Each step lands with a soft, steady contact, as though the floor has learned the pattern of your walk. There is a sense of being recognized by this place, gently and without words, as if the temple has seen many people in need of rest and knows exactly how to hold them. Warm light hugs the walls in smooth flowing bands. It rolls over every curve and corner, filling small cracks and lines with a quiet glow. Time seems to slow down here, then slow even more, until it hardly moves at all. The only rhythm that matters is the rhythm of your own breathing. With each breath in, the chest rises easily. With each breath out, a little tension loosens and falls away. The air feels soft and still, warmed just enough by the candles to feel gentle on the skin. Muscles that were once tight begin to settle, as if they are slowly sinking into a deeper layer of comfort. Shadows sweep across the floor in long, smooth shapes. They move when the flames tremble, gliding quietly over the stone. When your eyes follow those shadows, they naturally slow their focus, drifting back and forth like a calm tide. Nothing jumps or startles. Everything moves with soft, easy grace. The light here starts to feel less like something outside of you and more like a companion walking beside you. It is there with every step, steady and reliable. You may almost sense it resting at your shoulder, moving when you move, pausing when you pause, not asking anything, simply being with you. Each step along this corridor feels just a little lighter than the one before. Feet lift with less effort. The body sways with a relaxed, natural flow. Gravity is still there, but it feels kinder, less demanding. The warmth from the candles reaches out in a very gentle way. It does not press against the skin. It just brushes lightly along your arms and face, like the faintest touch of sunshine on a calm afternoon. As you move deeper down the corridor, that warmth becomes more familiar, and with it, a sense of ease grows. Stone walls run along both sides of the path. Under the light, they look soft around the edges, their details blurred by the amber glow. You might imagine how cool they would feel to the touch, how steady and strong. Even without reaching out, their presence brings a quiet reassurance, like a calm hand resting near yours. The soft sweep of shadows across the floor creates a slow, soothing pattern. When a candle flickers, the shadow bends, stretches, and then drifts back into place. Watching this gentle movement, even in your mind, has a way of slowing down any restless thoughts. The mind begins to move at the pace of the light and shade, unhurried and peaceful. Breathing continues to deepen without effort. Each exhale feels a little longer, a little smoother. Every time the breath leaves the body, tension leaves with it. Shoulders sink, lungs empty, with a soft sigh you may barely notice, and a wave of warmth settles deeper into the chest. The corridor itself feels patient. There is no sense of needing to reach any particular destination. The simple act of walking step by step through this warm light is enough. The journey is not about getting somewhere. It is about sinking into the feeling of being gently carried by the atmosphere around you. As you move forward, the light seems to learn your shape. It falls around you in a quiet, embracing halo. The idea of being separate from this place begins to blur. You and the corridor, the candlelight and the stone all seem to share a single, calm breath. The air holds a faint, comforting scent, perhaps a trace of old wax, warmed again and again by small flames, perhaps the soft, dry smell of stone that has rested for centuries. These subtle scents give the mind something simple and pleasant to lean on, and in doing so, help it let go of everything else. Each new step sends a tiny ripple of sound across the floor. It travels out ahead of you, then circles back in the quiet. The sound is always gentle, always soft. It feels as though the corridor listens and answers with a quiet, peaceful hush. Shadows near your feet stretch and change with your movements. Sometimes they glide ahead, sometimes they slide alongside you, like silent companions. They do not loom or crowd, they simply travel with you, part of the same slow river of motion that carries you deeper into calm. As time drifts by, the body begins to understand that it is safe to relax more. Muscles in the legs loosen, the arms hang naturally at the sides, the neck and jaw soften, letting the head rest more heavily on the spine. Every part of you is being invited into rest by the warm, steady glow. The light along the walls feels endless, yet not overwhelming. It continues, candle after candle, flame after flame, like a soft mantra repeated in light. You might notice how comforting repetition can be. The same glow, the same shadows, the same easy steps, all working together to calm the nervous system. Breath and steps find a rhythm together. Inhale with one step, exhale with the next. Even if the timing is not exact, the feeling is there. A quiet partnership between movement and breathing. It becomes almost like a slow, gentle lullaby sung by your own body. A sense of familiarity grows as you keep moving. This corridor no longer feels completely new. The light no longer feels like a stranger's light. It feels like a place you know, or a place you have always been moving toward without realizing it. Comfort settles in layers, first in the feet and legs, then in the chest and shoulders, then in the small spaces behind the eyes and between thoughts. The mind begins to trust that it can soften its grip and drift a little. Even if small thoughts appear, they float through the warm atmosphere and lose their sharp edges. They may pass by like shadows across the floor, noticed and then forgotten. Nothing sticks for long, nothing needs to be held on to. The corridor continues to offer the same gentle scene with every step. Warm amber light, soft, sweeping shadows, cool, dependable stone, steady, quiet air. Here, the light is more than something to see by. It feels like company. It feels like something that walks alongside you, keeping you wrapped in a steady, golden comfort. You are not moving through emptiness. You are moving through warmth. Gradually, everything in you responds to this simplicity. The heart beats in a relaxed, unhurried way. The breath flows smoothly. The body feels heavier and lighter at the same time. Heavy with relaxation, light with release. The corridor does not ask for anything. It simply allows you to keep going at your own slow pace as the warm light brushes over the walls and the floor and your quiet steps. With each moment, tension thins a little more, like mist fading in gentle sunlight. In this calm, glowing passage, you are held by gentle continuity. One candle after another, one step after another, one soft breath after another. And as the warm light continues along the walls, you drift deeper into ease, carried forward by nothing more than softness and the quiet comfort of being surrounded by calm. The corridor grows wider as it continues, and the quiet around you deepens. Candles still glow along the walls, but ahead the space opens into something more spacious, more still. The air feels slightly cooler here, as if it has been resting in place for a very long time. In the center of this quiet chamber rests a circular pool. Its surface is calm and dark at first glance, like a smooth stone lying flat. As the candlelight reaches it, the water begins to shimmer gently, carrying the warm glow across its surface. Steps slow as you approach. The floor underfoot feels even more solid, as though the stone is thicker, more grounded here. Something in the air suggests that this is a place for pausing, not hurrying, a place for breathing, not doing. The light from the candles drapes over the water in long, soft streaks. Flames and reflections blend together, making it hard to see where one ends and the other begins. Small ripples, almost too subtle to notice, move across the surface and bend the light into slow, calming patterns. You draw closer to the edge of the pool. Each step becomes quieter, as if the stone itself is cushioning your movements out of respect for the stillness. The chamber holds you in a gentle hush. Breath and heartbeat are the only sounds that seem to matter. Kneeling or settling down near the edge, the body naturally lowers into a more restful position. The coolness of the stone reaches through clothing, touching knees or legs with a steady, grounding presence. Above the water, the air feels slightly cooler still, as though the pool is quietly breathing out its own calm. Eyes rest on the surface. Candlelight glides across in soft strokes, curving with every tiny ripple. Sometimes the reflections stretch into long lines. Sometimes they break into delicate shapes that drift and melt into each other. The mind begins to mirror this movement. Thoughts that felt sharp or crowded just a little while ago start to separate and drift. Instead of pressing in, they float gently at the edges of awareness, like leaves moving on the surface of a pond. Nothing needs to be chased, nothing needs to be held. Another slow breath moves in, filling the chest and belly with cool, clean air from above the water. On the exhale, tension seems to slip down the spine and out through the base of the body, into the stone, into the quiet. Every long, easy breath opens a little more space inside. The pool is not loud or impressive, it is simple and calm, which makes it powerful in a different way. Just by being here, by gazing at it, you may notice a gentle openness spreading through the mind. Room for feeling, room for nothing at all. Candlelight along the walls continues to flicker, yet around the pool everything feels stable. Reflections sway, but never rush. They glide in slow arcs, bending and stretching, then returning to stillness. Watching this soft play of light gives the mind something safe and soothing to follow. The body, now close to the ground, feels heavier in a comfortable way. Weight settles into the hips, into the legs, into the hands that might rest on thighs or beside you on the stone. This heaviness is not tiring. It is a sign that the body trusts the support beneath it. In this moment, awareness can turn inward, as gently as turning your head. Not to analyze or judge, but just to notice. Notice where there is spaciousness. Notice where there is softness. Notice where a little more ease might be ready to appear. Thoughts that drift into view can be treated like reflections on the water. They rise up, shimmer for a while, and then slide away again. You do not need to force them to leave. You do not need to invite them to stay. They are simply allowed to move on their own at a slow, easy pace. The cool air above the pool brushes against your face with a light touch. It feels clean and gentle, like a soft cloth passing over the skin. Each time you breathe, that coolness passes through the nose, down into the lungs, and then out again, carrying a bit more strain away. Inside, space begins to bloom. It is not dramatic, it arrives gradually, like a room that grows larger when you open a window. There is more room for silence, more room for rest. Around you, the chamber remains quiet and steady. Stone walls hold the warmth of the candles, while the pool holds the cool reflection of their light. Between warmth and coolness, the body finds balance. Between light and shadow, the mind finds calm. Notice how your shoulders feel now. They may be lower, more relaxed. Notice the muscles around your eyes. They may have softened, letting your gaze rest without effort on the slow, shifting glow of the water. If any memory or worry rises up, it can be offered to the pool, not in a forced way, just in a gentle intention, as if you are allowing that thought to drift out of your body and float on the surface of the water, where it is rocked and soothed by the quiet ripples. The water accepts everything without struggle. Reflection bends to include whatever falls into its view. Then, slowly, the ripples smooth out again, and the surface returns to calm. The thought, like the movement, fades into the background. Every passing moment feels slightly longer than the last. Time itself stretches, giving more room for rest between one breath and the next. Sentences in your mind become shorter, quieter, or disappear altogether, leaving only feeling, only presence. You might imagine trailing a fingertip along the water's edge, tracing the cool stone rim of the pool. Even that small, imagined motion is slow and delicate, leaving behind a sense of contact and grounding. The mind is anchored in something simple and real. The space inside your chest feels less crowded now, like a room where the furniture has been gently cleared away. There is room for the breath to move, room for the heart to rest, room for nothing in particular to happen. Above you, the ceiling feels high, open, and protective. Around you, the chamber feels like a shell of safety. Within you, a new quiet is unfolding, petal by petal, with no need to hurry. The pool remains at the center of it all, calm and patient. Candlelight continues to shimmer across its surface in slow, calming waves. The world outside this space feels very far away now, as if it has been set down for a while, to be picked up only when you are ready. Breathing is easy, slow, and natural. Each inhale gently fills the inner space you have opened. Each exhale deepens your connection to the stone, the air, the quiet water. You are being supported from below and softened from within. Nothing else is required in this moment. Just sitting or kneeling here by the pool, watching the reflections sway, feeling tension loosen and float away like small, weightless pieces of the day. The pool of quiet reflection will remain, always still at its center, always soft at its edges. Whenever the mind wanders, it can drift back to this image, this feeling, this calm. Light on water, cool air, endless space inside. And as you rest beside the softly shimmering surface, the inner spaciousness continues to bloom, quietly, gently, like a calm night sky unfolding behind your closed eyes. The path leads away from the pool and gently opens into a taller, wider space. The air changes as you enter. It feels a little cooler, a little more open, as if the room itself is taking a deep, slow breath. This is a long hall stretching out in front of you with quiet confidence. Stone rises high on either side, and far above, shadowed arches curve overhead. Even before a sound is made, you can feel the way this place will answer, softly, kindly. The first step into the hall lands with a gentle tap on the floor. A moment later, the faintest echo answers. It is not sharp or loud. It drifts outward like a small whisper and dissolves into the high ceiling. Another step follows, and again the sound repeats in the distance. Each echo arrives in layers, thinner and softer as they fade. They move through the space like slow ripples across a calm lake until they vanish into silence. Every sound you make is held and then released. Breathing finds a new rhythm here. The chest rises and falls in long, smooth waves. In this spacious hall, each breath feels larger, as though it has more room to stretch. The lungs fill easily and empty without effort, joining the quiet pattern of sound and stillness. The height of the room invites your gaze upward. Shadowed arches curve over your head, their shapes softened by distance and low light. It is impossible to see every detail, and that is comforting. You only need to sense the gentle shelter they provide, like open hands cupped around the space. Sound gathers under those arches and then lets go again. When your foot touches the floor, the hall hears it. A soft answer comes back, growing lighter with each return. Nothing here pushes back, nothing presses in. A few more steps carry you further inside. The floor feels smooth and sure beneath your feet. Each contact with the stone is met with a quiet reply from the air, a layered murmur that fades as quickly as it came. It is as if the hall is saying over and over, "I hear you. You are not alone in this quiet." The sense of inward focus begins to shift. You are still aware of your own breathing, your own body, your own calm, but now the space around you feels more involved, like a gentle presence walking with you. The hall becomes a soft companion, answering each motion with a tender echo. All around, the soundscape settles, like a warm blanket over the senses. Each small noise is smoothed and softened by the distance. There are no sudden remarks, no sharp edges of sound, only layers of quiet responses, wrapping around you and then slipping away. The pace of your steps naturally slows. There is no rush in this place, and the hall seems to reward unhurried movement. When a step is slower, the echo is gentler, longer, more relaxed. Everything here encourages you to match that calm, steady rhythm. With every step, your body feels just a bit lighter. Muscles carry less tension. The weight of the day continues to flow downward, through your feet, into the floor, and out into the vast space. The hall receives that weight and returns only stillness. You may notice now how the sound of your breathing interacts with the room. A quiet inhale rises up into the arches and disappears. A soft exhale drifts outward, then seems to be cradled by the large open air. Breath and echo move together, supporting each other. Looking upward again, the arches seem to drift in and out of shadow. They feel high enough that the mind cannot easily grasp their full height. That sense of not needing to reach the top can be surprisingly soothing. You are free to stay grounded, to stay low and steady, while the ceiling takes care of the distance above. As you walk, your attention can rest wherever it feels most peaceful, on the sound of your steps, on the gentle echo in the distance, on the steady rise of your breath, on the simple fact that the space around you is calm and accepting. Even the silence between echoes becomes part of the experience. After each sound fades away, there is a quiet pause, a soft emptiness. That pause feels friendly, not empty in a cold way, but open in a comforting way. It is a place where nothing is required of you. Inside, a feeling of being quietly supported begins to grow. Walls, floor, and arches all seem to lean in slightly, just enough to give a sense of protection. They do not crowd, they simply surround in a way that makes the nervous system relax. Thoughts that arise in this hall are held as gently as the footfalls. They might show up for a moment, echo faintly in the mind, and then fall away into the same deep stillness. The space does not judge what appears. It just allows everything to soften at the edges. Each breath becomes long and full, like a slow tide moving in and out. Inhaling, you gather the cool, open air of the hall. Exhaling, you release whatever tension remains, letting it dissolve into the vastness above you. The more you do this, the more natural it feels. After a while, you may start to feel that the hall itself is breathing with you. Its tall walls and high ceiling expand and relax in time with your chest. Of course, they are still stone and shadow, but the feeling of connection is real. You are no longer just standing in a room, you are resting in a shared calm. The sound of your footsteps begins to seem softer, not only in the air but in your own awareness. They become faint marks on the surface of the moment, gentle points in a long, flowing line. The echoes that follow are like echoes in a dream, present but never intrusive. Sometimes, when you pause, the hall pauses with you. No sound moves, no light changes. In that shared stillness, you are reminded that doing nothing can be deeply peaceful. Simply standing, simply breathing is enough. Then, when you choose to move again, the hall responds. A footstep, a whisper of echo, a calm, fading answer. It is a quiet conversation, without words, between your body and the space that holds you. The longer you stay in this hall, the more expansive it feels inside your own chest. That inner spaciousness mirrors the high arches and wide floor. You may feel your heart resting more easily, your mind settling into a slower tempo. Everything that might have felt tight begins to stretch gently. Around you, the tall room remains unchanged and patient. It does not hurry you along. It does not ask you to leave. You are free to take as many slow, rhythmic steps as you like, letting the echoes layer and fade as they will. In time, the soundscape becomes almost like a lullaby made of space and hush, soft footfalls, long breaths, delicate echoes that rise and fall in the distance, all of it working together to ease the body toward deeper rest. Even as you imagine moving forward, the hall continues to feel warm and safe, never too large, never too empty. Its vastness is gentle, its silence full. Every bit of it seems designed to cradle your awareness and calm. And so you walk, or you stand, or you simply breathe, surrounded by this hall of gentle echoes, each step dissolving into the air like a fading whisper, each breath wrapped in a soft blanket of sound and stillness, until all that remains is the quiet comfort of being completely, peacefully held. The quiet of the hall softens as the path turns. Ahead, the space narrows for a moment, then opens again into a new chamber. The air feels even more still here, as if it has been waiting in gentle silence. As you step inside, your eyes adjust to a softer kind of light. Lanterns hang throughout the room at different heights, suspended as though resting in still air. They do not swing or sway. They simply float in place, each one glowing with a warm, steady calm. The first feeling that comes is one of softness. The light does not rush to meet you. It gathers around you slowly, like a quiet mist of warmth. Edges of the room blur just a little, as though the details are wrapped in a gentle haze. Each lantern holds a small flame, not too bright, not too dim. Around every flame is a soft halo of light, a circular glow that fades gradually into the air. Those halos touch and overlap, creating layers of warmth that fill the chamber. No single lantern stands out. They all share the space with quiet harmony. Your steps automatically become slower. The floor feels smooth beneath your feet, and the hush in the room seems to ask for quiet movement. As you walk further in, you move among the lanterns, like moving among stars that have drifted down from the sky and chosen to stay close. Some lanterns hang just above eye level, others rest higher, closer to the ceiling, watching from above with gentle light. Each one seems to hold the same peaceful stillness, as if time inside them has settled and gone to sleep. Nothing flickers in a restless way. Even the small movements of the flames are unhurried. You pause for a moment and simply stand among them. Light gathers around your shoulders, your arms, your face. It does not press. It simply wraps you in a quiet golden embrace. The air here feels slightly warm, where the lanterns are closest, and cooler in the spaces between. This creates a soft, almost dreamlike atmosphere where gentle temperature shifts move over your skin like a slow breath. With each inhale, you take in this mixed warmth and coolness. With each exhale, tension melts a little more. Some of the lanterns shift ever so slightly. The motion is so small you might almost miss it. A tiny sway, then stillness again. When they move, their halos of light ripple, stretching and narrowing in slow, fluid shapes. Watching those small changes pulls the mind deeper into calm. Thoughts have less room to rush when attention is resting on such delicate, simple movements. Focus settles on the way light slips over the metal frames of the lanterns, on the faint glow at the edges of their glass, on the soft shadows they cast. Shadows in this room are gentle, never harsh. They pool softly under each lantern, overlapping on the floor like patches of quiet gray. When a lantern shifts, the shadow moves with it, sliding across the stone in slow, graceful arcs. It all feels unhurried, like the chamber is moving in a slower kind of time. Breathing lengthens here, the chest rises slowly, falls slowly. Between breaths, there is more silence, more ease. The body seems to understand that in this room, nothing is demanded of it. The mind begins to drift in the same way the lanterns do. Thoughts loosen their tight shapes and become softer around the edges. They may flow through and then fade into the warm light, leaving behind a wider, quieter space inside you. There is no need to hold on to anything that passes through. As you walk a little further, the lanterns seem to open a path for you. On either side, soft halos of light form gentle walls of warmth. The floor beneath remains clear and steady. With each step, you move through overlapping circles of glow, like slipping through layers of calm. At times, you might pause beneath a lantern that hangs slightly lower. Its light rests directly around you, creating a small circle of warmth that feels like a private, quiet corner of the world. In that circle, the outside feels very far away. There is only the glow, the breath, and the soft beat of your heart. The atmosphere grows more dreamlike the longer you remain here. Lines between lantern and air, between shadow and floor, begin to blur. The mind may gently lose track of where one thing ends and the next begins. All of it blends into one calm field of light and hush. Even the sense of time becomes softer. Moments stretch out. A single breath feels like a long, smooth wave that carries you from one lantern to the next. You are no longer counting anything, not steps, not minutes, not thoughts. If you look around slowly, you might notice how each lantern has its own character. Some glow with a slightly deeper amber tone. Some are pale and soft, almost white. Some halos are wide, others smaller and closer to the flame. Yet all of them share the same restful stillness. Your body responds to this gentle variety with quiet curiosity, not the kind that agitates, but the kind that soothes. The eyes move slowly from one light to another. The mind follows, trailing behind in a relaxed, wandering way. Somewhere inside, a deeper serenity begins to rise. It feels like settling into a warm, comfortable bed after a long day. Muscles relax without needing to be told. Even places that often hold tension, shoulders, neck, stomach, ease into softness. Silences between your breaths stretch out. In those silences, you are simply surrounded by hanging lanterns and soft light. No words are needed there. Nothing has to be explained or understood. Quiet itself is enough. The room feels almost weightless, as if the presence of all these floating lights has made the air lighter, easier to move through. You might imagine that if you reached out, your hand would pass through the glow like water, feeling only warmth and peace. Every now and then, a lantern's flame leans to one side, then returns to center. Its halo stretches and then smooths out again. Watching this tiny dance of light and stillness can draw you even closer to sleep, like watching a candle slowly burn down in a dark, safe room. Inside your mind, shapes and scenes may start to drift in and out. They are soft, unfocused, a little like the halos themselves. If they come, they come. If they go, they go. The lights in the chamber hold the space, so nothing needs to be chased or controlled. Breathing remains slow and steady. Each inhale pulls in a sense of gentle brightness. Each exhale releases more of the day's noise and strain. The more you breathe, the more the world outside this room fades into the background. In this chamber of hanging lanterns, the difference between what is physical and what is imagined grows less important. What matters is how it feels: warm, quiet, suspended in stillness. The lights above and around you continue to glow without expectation. They do not ask you to stay awake. They do not ask you to think. They are simply there, floating in still air, offering a gentle place for your awareness to rest. As you remain here, whether standing or slowly walking, the mind slips further into that soft space between waking and sleep. Words begin to matter less. Light and breath and ease begin to matter more. And in the gentle company of these lanterns, hanging so quietly in the air, you drift a little deeper, into calm, into warmth, into a dreamlike quiet where everything glows softly and nothing at all needs to be done. The path turns once more, and the walls around you slowly fall away. Ahead, the space opens under a higher, softer light. The air feels cooler here, touched by a faint breeze that drifts in from above. You step out into an inner courtyard, sheltered yet open to the sky. Somewhere far overhead, the roof parts enough to let fresh air slip down into this quiet garden. It moves over your skin like a cool hand, calming, steady, and kind. Around you, plants grow in an easy, timeless stillness. Nothing is wild or tangled. Leaves and branches rest as though they have been here for many years, content to simply exist. The green feels gentle on the eyes, a soft relief after stone and shadow. Underfoot, the hard path has changed. Stone remains, but its surface is softened by patches of moss. Each step lands a little more quietly, cushioned by this thin, living layer. The contact with the ground feels slower, as if the earth is inviting you to sink into it. A fresh, subtle scent fills the air. It is the smell of damp stone, cool soil, and quiet green leaves. Not strong, not sharp, just a calm, clean presence that makes the lungs feel grateful. Every breath in brings that grounded smell into your chest, and every breath out loosens something inside. The garden lies around you like a calm, resting heart. Small shrubs sit in peaceful clumps. Slender stems rise here and there, holding leaves that are still and patient. Nothing moves unless the slow breeze touches it, and even then, the movement is soft and unhurried. You walk along a narrow stone path that winds between the plants. Moss edges the path, curling gently over the sides of the stones. Footsteps feel heavier now, but in a comfortable way, as if gravity has become a warm blanket. The body begins to welcome that heaviness. One side of the courtyard is bordered by a low stone wall covered in small ferns and creeping vines. Their leaves rest against the rock in quiet clusters, drinking in the cool air. You might reach out a hand and let fingertips brush lightly along them. The surface is cool and slightly damp, the leaves soft against your skin. That simple touch brings the mind into the present moment. Roughness of stone under the greenery, softness of living plant above it. The contrast is grounding, a reminder that you are supported by something solid and calm. As you walk deeper into the courtyard, a gentle sound grows clearer, not loud, not restless, just a small, steady murmur. A stone fountain is tucked into the center of the garden, its basin round and low. Water flows slowly from the top, slipping down over smooth stone and into a shallow pool. The sound is rhythmic and gentle, like a soft whisper repeating itself again and again. It does not demand attention, but it is always there, a quiet anchor in the middle of the space. You move closer to the fountain, steps slowing with each breath. The air feels slightly cooler here, touched by the water. A faint mist lingers just above the surface, so delicate it feels more imagined than seen. Standing beside it, the sound wraps around you like a soothing cord held for a long time. Kneeling or sitting near the edge, the body drops a little closer to the earth. Weight settles into legs and hips. Muscles begin to let go of any effort they were still holding. It becomes easier to breathe low and full, all the way down into the belly. Watching the water, you notice how patient it is. Each droplet takes its time, sliding over stone in a thin, unbroken path. Ripples spread slowly through the pool, touching the edges and then fading into stillness. The repetition calms the mind, which starts to mirror that slow, steady flow. All around, leaves frame the fountain in quiet green. Some lean slightly toward the water, as if listening to its gentle sound. Others rest back, content in the cool air. Nothing here is in a hurry to grow or change. If a hand reaches out to touch the ground, fingertips meet cool stone and soft moss. The moss gives slightly, springy and damp, a small cushion between you and the earth. Feeling that texture under your hand or in your mind reinforces the sense of being anchored, solid, supported, safe. The more time you spend in this garden, the more grounded everything feels. Thoughts that were floating high begin to sink gently downward, like leaves settling onto the surface of the water, then drifting to the bottom. They do not disappear completely, but they lose their urgency. They become part of the quiet. Breathing slows even further. Inhale through cool, plant-scented air. Exhale into the steady sound of the fountain. Each breath feels heavier in the best way, as if it carries you down into deeper calm. The limbs grow weighty and relaxed. Arms rest comfortably at your sides or in your lap. Legs feel rooted to the stone path or the mossy ground. There is a sense that you are planted here for a while, like one of the garden's own trees or shrubs. Looking up, you might see the outline of the high opening above, where the roof gives way. Beyond that opening, the sky waits, perhaps dim, perhaps filled with gentle night. Cool air slips down through that space and into the courtyard, brushing across your skin and the leaves alike. Everything shares the same soft breath. The quiet here is different from the quiet of stone halls. It is a living quiet filled with subtle sounds and scents. The faint rustle of a leaf, the low murmur of water, the steady whisper of air moving across the tops of plants. Grounded tranquility seeps into every part of you. It begins at the feet and moves upward, settling into ankles, calves, knees, then into the hips and lower back, easing any tightness, then into the chest and shoulders, which sink a little lower with every exhale. The neck feels supported by the spine, the jaw loosens, the tongue resting softly in the mouth, even the muscles around the eyes let go. The whole face settles into a peaceful, neutral calm. Sleepiness starts to show itself as a gentle heaviness behind the eyes, a softness in the head. Not a sudden drop, but a slow, comfortable dimming of sharp awareness. The garden, with its plants and water and moss, holds that sleepiness the way soil holds roots, firmly, safely, without effort. Time in this place feels thick and smooth, like rich soil that never dries out. Moments do not pass quickly or slowly, they simply exist, one after another, all equally gentle. No part of you needs to rush on to whatever comes next. Being here, breathing here, is enough. You might draw your fingers once more along a nearby leaf. Feel its smooth surface, its cool, quiet life. Then let your hand rest again, heavy and relaxed. The garden understands this rhythm of touch and stillness. The sound of the fountain continues in the background, a soft, steady presence that you may notice or forget. Either way, it works on you, smoothing out the last rough edges of the day. Layers of tension fall away until what remains is simple and calm. In this garden beneath the roof, the connection between body and earth feels clear and comforting. Thoughts soften, limbs grow pleasantly heavy, breath moves slow and deep. And as plants stand in their timeless stillness and cool air drifts gently through the open space above, you rest here, anchored, grounded, sinking softly toward the quiet, peaceful darkness where sleep begins to form. The garden's cool air fades as the path narrows again. Stone walls draw a little closer, and the light grows dimmer, softer. Ahead, a doorway waits, simple and quiet, like an invitation to rest. Crossing the threshold, a calmer warmth meets your skin. The air in this room is steady and still, holding a gentle heat that seeps slowly into muscles and bones. It feels like stepping into a soft embrace that has been waiting just for you. The light here is low and calm. It rests in quiet pools, along the floor and the walls, without any sharp edges. Shadows gather in the corners, not heavy, just peacefully dark, like velvet in the distance. Nothing in this space pulls at your attention. Everything encourages it to soften. The floor is covered with cushions and mats arranged with care. They sit in small islands of comfort, waiting for bodies that are ready to let go. The shapes are simple and welcoming, offering places to sink down and be held. Just seeing them makes the body remember how it feels to truly rest. Steps become very slow as you move further into the chamber. Feet press gently into the floor, feeling the subtle give of the mats beneath. Each step is quieter than the last, until movement makes almost no sound at all. The room seems to listen and then answer with deeper silence. Eventually, one place calls to you more than the others. Perhaps it is a wide, soft cushion. Perhaps it is a long, low mat against the wall. Wherever it is, the body recognizes it as a place of safety and begins to lean toward it. Lower yourself down as slowly as you like. Knees bend, hips fold, hands reach out to steady you. The cushion or mat rises up to meet your weight, supporting you with gentle firmness. As you settle, the surface shapes itself around you. It holds you without effort. The floor beneath feels far away now, hidden under layers of softness. Your body no longer has to do the work of holding itself up. Let your spine lengthen and then release. Shoulders slide down and away from the ears. The back finds its own natural curve, supported in all the right places. Every small adjustment leads to a little more ease. The air in the chamber remains warm and steady. It feels the same with each breath, never too hot, never too cool. That consistency is soothing. You know, without thinking about it, that every inhale will feel gentle and every exhale will be welcomed. Notice the rise and fall of your breathing now. The rhythm may already be slower than before. In a long, smooth inhale, out, an even longer, softer exhale. Each breath stretches time just a little more. Around you, the room is completely at rest. No movement, no drafts, no shifting light. It is a space designed only for stillness. You are allowed to match that stillness in your own body. Let the arms find an easy position, maybe by your sides, maybe resting over the belly or chest. Hands relax, fingers slightly curled, with no effort, no gripping. Legs lengthen or fold in a way that feels natural. Feet grow heavy and loose, letting go of the day. The more your body sinks into the cushion beneath you, the more the room seems to wrap around you. Walls feel closer in a comforting way, like a soft shell. The ceiling above fades from awareness, leaving only the sense of being gently enclosed. You are surrounded, but not crowded. Breath begins to sink with the quiet of the space. The room is silent, yet its silence has a slow, even rhythm. In your mind, it might feel as though each inhale lines up with that silent rhythm. Each exhale melts into it. The chest lifts just enough to draw in warm air. It lowers slowly, emptying with a long release. Between breaths, there is a pause, a moment where nothing is happening at all. In that pause, you are simply resting. Muscles throughout the body respond to this slower breathing. The neck loosens, allowing the head to rest heavier. The jaw slackens, leaving the mouth soft and neutral. Across the forehead, any remaining lines smooth out, leaving only quiet skin. Inside, thoughts drift further apart. They move slowly, like clouds crossing a night sky. Some may appear at the edges of awareness and then float away again without a trace. Nothing insists on staying. Nothing demands attention. The room holds all of this gently. Every breath, every quiet thought, every small shift of your body. It accepts everything without asking you to change or fix anything at all. If there is any place in the body that still feels tight, it can be offered to the warmth of the chamber. A shoulder that has been tense, a spot in the lower back, a slight clenching in the belly. With each exhale, those places soften just a little more, as if the room is quietly helping them to release. Time stretches out in long, easy lines. Moments no longer feel separate from one another. They blend into a single, continuous stream of calm. You might lose track of how long you have been lying here, and that is perfectly all right. The sound here is deep and low, almost no sound at all. You might hear your own breath moving in and out. You might notice the gentle beat of your heart, steady and quiet. Beyond that, everything is silence. The silence does not feel empty. It feels full of support, like a soft, invisible cushion around your body, holding you in place. You are not floating or drifting away. You are resting, anchored by stillness. Breath becomes even slower. Inhale, a long, peaceful draw of air. Exhale, a longer, heavier release. The body starts to ride those waves the way a small boat rides calm water, up and down in endless repetition. Sleepiness now becomes more than a hint. It is a gentle weight behind the eyes, a warm heaviness in the limbs. Thoughts lose their words and become textures, feelings, impressions. The line between being fully awake and almost asleep begins to blur. The cushion continues to hold your shape. Every point of contact between you and the surface beneath feels soft and supported. Heels, calves, thighs, hips, back, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, all of them cradled by the quiet room. Breathing and stillness work together, pulling you inward. The outer world grows dim and distant. The inner world grows softer, darker, more peaceful. You are safe in this chamber made for slow breaths. Here, nothing more is required. No decisions, no effort, no plans for later. Only this warm air, this quiet support, this long, slow breathing. As each breath stretches even further, sentences begin to feel lighter, farther apart. Silence opens up between them, just as it opens up between thoughts. Those gaps are gentle, restful spaces where the mind can simply stop. In this room designed for stillness, the body is allowed to release everything it has been holding. The mind is allowed to drift away from the surface of the day and sink toward deeper rest. Breath continues on its own, slow and steady, like a soft lullaby made of air. And in the calm warmth of the chamber of slow breaths, you settle, heavier, quieter, drawn closer and closer to the deep, sleep-heavy darkness waiting just beyond this peaceful edge. The path narrows again, and sound falls away into a deeper quiet. Stone around you feels softer somehow, more distant, as if wrapped in layers of silence. Ahead, a final opening leads into the heart of this place. Crossing that threshold, the light changes. Flames are no longer separate points along the walls. Instead, a soft, even glow fills the space. It feels more like a gentle presence than a group of candles. The air moves slowly here, not in gusts or breezes, but in long, soothing waves. With each breath in, you sense a quiet rise. With each breath out, a long, peaceful fall. This room is wide, but the edges are blurred in low, warm light. Nothing is sharp, nothing stands out. All shapes are rounded by the glow, as if time itself has softened their outlines. Somewhere in the center, there is a place for the body to rest. It might be a wide cushion, or a simple mat, or a smooth patch of floor that feels just right. Whatever form it takes, it draws you gently toward it, asking nothing, promising only stillness. Moving closer, your steps grow fewer and slower. The floor is steady beneath your feet. Each contact is almost soundless. The room seems to absorb every tiny noise and transform it into deeper quiet. When you finally lower yourself down, the body sinks into support that feels both firm and forgiving. Hips find their place, back eases into alignment, shoulders release as if they have been waiting for this moment all day. You might choose to sit, spine tall but relaxed, head gently balanced, or you might let yourself lie down, stretching out and letting gravity take over. Either way, the surface beneath you receives your weight without complaint. It feels as though the whole room is holding you up. The glow around you is gentle and constant. No flickers, no sudden changes, just a steady hush of light. Eyes can stay open or drift closed. The feeling is the same. Warmth on the lids, softness in the space behind them. Breath deepens on its own. Inhale, slowly, filling the chest and belly with quiet air. Exhale, even more slowly, letting everything heavy flow downward and away. Each breath lengthens like a line being drawn a little farther across a page. Thoughts that once ran in busy patterns now begin to loosen. They unwind strand by strand until only faint traces remain. A word here, an image there, all of them light and distant, like tiny pieces of dust floating in a sunbeam. Around your body, the air feels almost still, yet alive. Waves of sensation move over the skin, soft, warm, and slow. It is as if the room is breathing with you, expanding slightly as you inhale, relaxing as you exhale. The boundary between your body and the space around it grows thin. In this deep, quiet, time starts to stretch. Moments no longer fall one after another in a line. They open and widen, becoming pools of stillness you can sink into. You may lose track of how long you've been lying here, and that feels completely natural. If the mind looks for something to focus on, it finds simple things. The gentle weight of your body, the slow rhythm of your breathing, the way the glow seems to rest evenly over everything, never asking your eyes to move. Muscles all through the body continue to release. Feet feel heavy and far away. Calves and thighs soften into the surface beneath them. The lower back lets go of any last gripping, and the belly rests, quiet and easy. Higher up, the chest feels open and relaxed. Breath moves in and out without effort, like a small tide washing over a calm shore. Hands lie loosely, palms resting where they fell, fingers at ease. Arms feel warm and pleasantly heavy. The neck supports the head without strain, jaw unclenches, tongue rests softly. Even the tiny muscles around the eyes give up their work, leaving your face smooth and peaceful. Thought patterns drift farther away now. They are no longer strong lines. They become small, weightless shapes in the distance. You might sense them faintly, but they are easy to ignore, like sounds from another room. Around and within you, stillness grows thicker, richer. It does not feel empty. It feels full of quiet support, like a soft blanket wrapped around both body and mind. The gentle glow in the room presses lightly against closed eyes, then fades into the background. What you notice most is the absence of effort. No need to hold yourself up. No need to manage or direct anything. Breaths now come so slowly that each one feels like its own small journey. In, rising into soft light. Out, falling into deep calm. Between breaths, there are moments where everything seems to pause and float. In those tiny pauses, you are very close to sleep. Awareness is still there, but it is thin and relaxed, almost transparent. You may notice a passing thought or a faint image, but they move through you like a breeze through an open window. The room around you feels enormous and intimate at the same time. Faraway walls, a ceiling you no longer try to imagine. Yet the sensation of being gently enclosed remains, as if invisible hands are cupped around your resting form. Some part of you might sense that you are at the very center of this calm, not just inside a quiet space, but at its heart. Everything around you seems to arrange itself in circles of stillness, with you lying calmly in the middle. Light has become a feeling more than something to see, a warm, even presence that touches everything equally. It asks nothing, it simply stays so you don't need to. Thoughts by now may have faded into almost nothing. What remains is more like a mood, a soft haze of comfort. You know that thinking is still possible, but it no longer feels necessary. You can just drift. The body too feels less separate. Edges blur, shapes lose their sharpness. You are aware of weight and warmth, but not of where one part ends and another begins. Breathing continues, slow and deep, without needing attention. It has become background music, barely noticed, yet always there. You are free to let awareness float above it, or sink beneath it, or simply rest right in the middle. Everything in this inner sanctum encourages fading, fading from busy thought, fading from tightness, fading from the need to stay fully awake. Even if the mind opens its eyes for a moment and looks around, it sees only calm, soft glow, deep silence, gentle waves of air, no reason to return to the surface, so it drifts back down into the warm, dark water of rest. Words grow slower, spaces between them grow wider. There is more silence than anything else now. In this deepest place of quiet, you are allowed to dissolve into comfort, to become nothing more than breath and warmth and soft weight, to float very near the edge of sleep, where thoughts are light and dreams begin to gather. And as the faint glow hums softly around you and the air moves in long, soothing waves, you linger here, drifting, fading, carried closer and closer to the gentle darkness where sleep waits, patient and kind. The glow around you fades into an even softer warmth as the path narrows one last time. A deeper quiet settles in the air, thicker and more embracing than before. The space ahead feels still, as though it has been waiting for you with gentle patience. Stepping forward, the floor grows softer beneath your feet. Stone gives way to cushions, thick and warm, arranged in muted layers of comfort. The dim light rests over them like a soft blanket, inviting your body to sink down and let everything go. At the center of this quiet heart of the temple, a place to lie down waits for you. It looks warm, steady, and safe. Your steps naturally drift toward it, slow and unhurried, as if the room itself is guiding you there. Lower yourself into this resting place, feeling the surface rise to meet you. First the legs, then the hips, then the spine. The softness beneath you cradles your weight, shaping itself around every curve without effort. As soon as you settle, your body begins to release more deeply. The air around you holds a gentle warmth. It moves in long, subtle waves that seem to wrap around your arms, your chest, your face. Breathing feels softer here, slower, almost like the air is breathing with you. The light dims a little more as you lie still. What once was a warm glow now becomes a fine haze hovering near the edge of darkness. You can sense the room rather than see it. Shapes blur, edges melt, and the world softens into calming shadows. Every muscle responds to this fading light. The legs relax fully, hips sink deeper, arms grow heavy and warm at your sides. Your neck releases the last of its tension, allowing the head to rest heavily and comfortably. The sense of weight begins to shift. It is no longer the weight of holding yourself up, but the weight of surrender, of being completely supported. You do not have to try to relax. Relaxation arrives on its own, like a quiet tide slipping gently over the sand. Breaths stretch out in long, slow lines. Inhale, rising softly, without strain. Exhale, falling even more slowly, settling your body into the cushion beneath you. Each breath draws you closer to the quiet core of sleep. Thoughts grow faint. Their shapes become hazy, their edges blurred. They drift like tiny embers fading from a fire at the end of the night. You might notice them for a moment, then lose them just as easily. Time begins to loosen its hold. Moments stretch, thinner, wider, almost disappearing between breaths. You may feel as if you are floating just above the surface of your own body or sinking deeper into it. Both sensations are gentle and welcome. The darkness in the room thickens softly. Not a cold or empty darkness, this is warm and comforting. A darkness that feels like being wrapped in a soft blanket. A darkness that whispers that nothing more is needed. Breathing quiets further. Each inhale is a slow rise of warm air. Each exhale is a surrender, a quiet letting go. Your chest moves in small, peaceful waves, barely lifting now. Thoughts become even lighter. They no longer follow one another. They arrive as tiny flickers, then dissolve before they form into anything clear. There is no need to follow them. They fade on their own. The room is almost still, yet you can sense its gentle presence around you. A vast, warm silence fills the space. It settles over your body like a soft covering, protective and tender. Every part of you is held. As the light continues to dim, shapes disappear completely. The world becomes soft darkness and warm air and slow breath. It feels peaceful, natural, familiar, as though this quiet place is part of you. Your limbs feel distant now, heavy, warm, relaxed. The body no longer asks for attention, it simply rests. Even the small movements inside, heart, breath, warmth, seem slower, quieter, almost dreamlike. Breathing deepens a little more. Inhale, soft. Exhale, softer still. A long, gentle release with each breath out. It feels as though the body is drifting toward the edge of sleep without needing to try. Any thought that rises comes like a faint glow, then fades immediately into the surrounding quiet. You do not have to push anything away. The silence takes care of that for you. The softness beneath you seems to expand, spreading through your limbs and into your chest. It becomes part of you, gently dissolving the lines between yourself and the space around you. You are lying in the heart of stillness, and stillness lies within you. Breaths now come in long, slow waves, spaced far apart. The body sinks lower and lower until it feels as though nothing is left but warmth and quiet and the slow rhythm of sleep. The dim glow fades to a thin whisper of light, barely there, almost gone. It feels comforting to watch it fade into the comforting dark, like watching the last candle go out at the end of a peaceful night. Your awareness drifts with it, soft, light, weightless. Thoughts no longer form, they drift too far away to catch. The air around you is warm and steady, the silence is complete and kind. The body is still, the mind unbound, floating just above the first layers of sleep. Nothing is pulling you back, nothing is holding you up. You are lying at the very center of calm, surrounded by deep, gentle darkness. Breathing becomes an echo, soft and distant. The body continues on its own, peacefully, automatically. You are safe to let go of every last bit of awareness. And as the final traces of dim light disappear into the quiet, as the body grows heavy and still, as the mind drifts to the warm edge of dreams, you rest here at the temple's heart, where everything settles into silence and sleep rises to meet you, soft and deep and endlessly peaceful. The quiet around you deepens, settling softly over every part of your body. Warm air moves in slow waves, carrying the last traces of tension away. Nothing asks for your attention now. Nothing pulls at your thoughts. You are simply resting in the gentle calm of this place. The surface beneath you holds your weight with steady, peaceful support. Your body feels heavy in the best way, as if it is sinking into softness without any effort. Each breath moves through you like a soft tide, rising and falling in long, easy motions. There is no need to change anything about how you breathe. Your body knows exactly what to do. Dim light lingers nearby, fading at the edges, almost disappearing into the warm quiet. It glows just enough to feel comforting, just enough to be felt rather than seen. The rest of the room rests in shadow, gentle and safe. Thoughts drift further away now. They loosen, unravel, and float out of reach. If any appear, they are faint, light as dust, and they fade almost immediately into the hush around you. Nothing needs to be solved. Nothing needs to be remembered. Your arms lie where they have fallen, growing heavier with every long exhale. Your legs rest in perfect stillness. Your hands soften completely, fingers loose and calm. The whole body feels wrapped in quiet. If awareness wants to wander, it can drift through the warmth of your chest, or the gentle weight in your limbs, or the simplicity of your breath. Any path it chooses leads you deeper into rest. The silence in this place is tender. It does not feel empty. It feels full, full of comfort, full of ease, full of softness. It settles over you like a warm blanket, soothing every place inside that once held strain. Your breathing continues to slow, long inhales, even longer exhales. Space opens between them, small pockets of calm where nothing at all is happening. These moments are peaceful, welcoming, and deeply restful. Your body sinks further into stillness. Every part of you feels supported, as though the quiet itself is holding you gently in place. The mind floats just above sleep, light and free. Thoughts fade before they form. Images drift through and dissolve. You are safe to stay exactly as you are, safe to drift, safe to settle, safe to let the day disappear behind you like a soft closing door. If sleep arrives, you can follow it. If rest holds you here, you can stay in this warm hush as long as you like. Nothing presses forward, nothing pulls you back. Time is no longer something you need to track. Each breath is a doorway into deeper ease. Each exhale brings you closer to the quiet space where dreams begin to gather. The edges of awareness soften. The world becomes gentle. Your body becomes still. The atmosphere around you feels soft and steady. It wraps around your thoughts, smoothing them into simple shapes. It wraps around your body, calming every muscle. It wraps around your breath, slowing it into a peaceful rhythm. You are free to let go now, fully, completely, free to release the weight of the day, free to slip into stillness without effort, free to drift wherever rest wishes to take you. The room grows quieter still, warmth fades into darkness, darkness fades into comfort, comfort fades into sleep, and as everything settles into silence, as your breath moves in long, slow waves, as your body sinks deeper into softness, you drift gently, peacefully into quiet rest.